What's going on, crypto crew? This is Sean coming back at you with another cryptocurrency video. This is jam-packed. Could something big be brewing for the crypto markets? Are you allocated? Are you ready? Don't miss this video. Getting straight into it, taking a look at the total crypto market capitalization. We're coming in around $2.44 trillion. As you see, the Bitcoin dominance is around 54%, Ethereum dominance is 17.7%, with Bitcoin coming in around 66.5% over the past 24 hours, up 0.5%. The market's just been trading in this channel. Bitcoin came down a little bit. What's coming next? Well, we're taking a look at this update. This is from Trading Shot on TradingView. Check out this chart. So what's he showing you here? He's showing you that every time we are in these bear markets and Bitcoin comes back and flips this moving average, 50 moving average, we flip it from resistance to support before having a continuation to the upside. Look back here in 2023 when the bull market first started. How high do we go? We almost went up 100%. 100% gain before it cooled off and slowed down. And then look at, we traded in a channel once again. And then we fell below it, got back above it, flipped resistance to support, and another continuation of another 90+% move. Going from 42,000 up to about 74,000, almost a 92% move. So what's coming next? Look, we're in this channel. We fell below the 50 moving average like we did the previous two times, and then we flipped back above it, flipped resistance to support. What's coming next? Another 90% move takes you up to $100,000 for Bitcoin. Is that what we see over the next few months? Bitcoin could be ready to make that massive breakout. What about the altcoins? We're looking at altcoins here too. People like alts. Solana has been making some waves since October of last year, trading from below $20 at a low of about $8-9. Went all the way up to almost 200 bucks, and now we're in this trading zone. Once again, look at the fib retracement levels. We came back and wicked down and kissed this almost perfectly, but could we come back down to this 0.236 level around 120? Could we whip below that? Potentially. This could be some type of ABC correction pattern that's playing. Could we see $100 Solana? Potentially. If Bitcoin takes off, it's going to pull the rest of the market up. You want to take note of that. But looking at the total 3 divided by Bitcoin, what do we see? Look here at this chart above. I know there's a lot going on, but look back in the charts and look at the confluence. We just broke below this horizontal line that was acting as support for quite some time. We're getting squeezed. This 20 moving average crossed over this 200. The price action isn't below this, but I mean, did not get back above that 20 moving average, and right now this looks pretty bearish for alts. This is a total 3 divided by Bitcoin once again. And then looking back at the charts, where do we see confluence? We see some confluence maybe around the 0.4 range, so this level right here. But if not, the last time we broke this resistance, you see back here, we fell through this and had a fake out to the upside and then fell down to this downside. This horizontal all the way down to the 0.29, 0.3 level. And then look at this upwards trend line here. The trend's your friend to the end. This was when Bitcoin blasted off and left alts behind, but we got right back above it, flipped resistance to support, and then had a continuation. This blue line's been acting as support. We fell through it, hit our head once, twice. This downwards resistance, we've been getting squeezed from the 20 moving average. A lot been going on. The stochastic RSI we see is in, sort of bearish territory, seeing bearish momentum. You see this on the weekly. The RSI has came down and reset, broke down through this, bottomed out, but then sort of just been making higher highs and higher lows. We make a lower low here, we have to be patient and wait. You have to look at this confluence. Once again, that 0.4 range is the first level to look at. If we don't hold that, we could come all the way back down and retest this downward support. Either way, this is when you want to start diversifying in the alts, because when alts start to come back up towards this uptrend, to this upper bound here, that's when the outpace is going to be had. And then looking at Solana once again, Solana could have a cool off, but we'll show you why. It's a shot up the Trading Shot. It's from him once again. We're giving you the alpha from Trading Shot today. But look here. In previous cycle, back in 2020, Solana traded in this downwards trend and established this downward support, right? And this is this green line with the RSI levels. And then Note this rounding mound before we came back and retested the green line, before we then went up 52,000%. So if Solana does something similar, another 52,000% move would take Solana up to $4,200. Is that realistic? Can that be had? Well, we'll look at the channels and, the numbers don't lie. So look where we're at right now. We had that rounding mound, right? Now we're coming back down into the buy zone. So this green level here is the buy zone. And this is the Solana versus the US dollar on the weekly chart. Once you get back down to this point, this 40 range on the RSI on the weekly chart, that's when you want to consider. So look where we are right here. If we look back in the charts and match it to make it make sense, Solana still had a lot of downwards pressure. So if we've seen some more downwards pressure, we can't see this weekly 50 moving average, but we may have came back down and retested this almost perfectly. Right now, this 50 moving average is at $80. Would this be the ultimate load up zone before that rally? Because once we bounce off of this, you see what the price action did before. Having a similar run up, Solana could melt faces. We hope you're prepared. Looking at BNB, looking at altcoins, what do we see? We could see a little bit of downwards pressure before it rips and rallies to the upside. You see here, BNB on the dominance. This is BNB dominance. What do we see? We had this peak up around the 6.27 range. Then we had a meltdown from the bear market. And then we established a bottom, which seems to be a bottom. Came in, put a higher low, and flipped this resistance to support, and now we're just basing out. Could we see some momentum to the downside? You see the stochastic RSI is pointing down, so we could get either some sideways price action or just some trade in this channel. Zooming into this price action, we could just see, something similar to this. We could come up, come down, come up, come down. Why the stochastic, resets could cause the RSI to pull back a little bit. But looking at this on the macro, we are stair-stepping our way up to the upside. Now note this. We hit our head here, that was near a peak, here, then we just hit our head. So will this be a macro pullback that causes this to melt down, and will BNB see lower pressure? Or are we stair-stepping our way up because we haven't got back above into this overbought territory above the 70 range? That's typically what you see in bull runs. So could we see a little bit of a retest, put a low in, but put a higher low in, maybe here around the 50 range, retest the 50 range before having a continuation to the upside? That could be in the cards. Gotta be patient and wait and see, but alts seem like they're having something brewing. And then an update from TA Trader Allen. What do we see? What do we anticipate? Looking at Bitcoin on the daily, he's looking at this indicator below. This is a hidden bullish divergence. The oscillator is putting in lower lows while the price is putting in higher lows. So every time this has happened, this green dot appears, blast off. Every time it happens, green dot appears, blast off. Look what happened. The green dot appears, $100,000 could be sooner rather than later. This is what you need to remember. Bitcoin will do to banks what email did to the post office. Bitcoin will do to banks what email will do to the post office. Nobody really sends letters anymore, handwritten letters, unless you're 70 or 80 years old. Everybody sends email because it's a quicker, faster way to get things done. You don't gotta go stand in line at the post office. You don't need to buy stamps. You don't gotta do all this stuff. And it's free as long as you have an email account, which mostly everybody in this century does. So Bitcoin is gonna disrupt banks. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Michael Saylor gets it, and he's talking about this at Bitcoin Prague. You want to hear what he had to say.
Everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. In December of 2013, I looked at it and I tweeted, Bitcoin's days are numbered. It'll probably go the way of online gambling. Big mistake. Bitcoin was $892. I got the price I deserved, and when it gets to $950,000, there'll be some whiny person, talking head on television, saying it looks overbought right now. It looks a little bit heated. We think it's going to trade down to 700,000, and they'll miss it. It'll go to 8 million, and they'll buy it at 8 million, and they will get Bitcoin at the price they deserve.